Alright folks, we're going to be scrutinising a new map here. Well, I say it's a new map. It's the first time I've ever cast this map on the channel. It's called Tiamat's Paradise. But, it drives me so mad. They've got this classic water problem in video games where you can make the water look nice as it's flowing in the centre, but where the water meets the edge of the line, you know, where the, I don't know, like the shore, or whatever it's called, I'm not a geologist, it just looks hard. That's always been a classic video game problem. And clearly Dawn of War 2 doesn't do it very well, which is why you don't generally see water in most of the maps, but the map maker said, fuck it, I like water, I'm just going to do it anyway. Other than that, from a game design point of view, well, I guess as we go through this match, we'll see what we think about the map from a game design point of view. We're going to be watching Tenso versus Kingfisher. I wonder if these guys were playing random. It seems a bit weird for Tenso to go triple homagons against an IG. Why'd you do that? You wouldn't intentionally do that, I assume. Maybe Tenso didn't know that Fisher was IG? I don't know. The meta right now is to go for one guardsman, keep him default, just use him to cap, repair the scent, try and get double Kadishans out ASAP. And when you get the double Kadishans out, that's going to be really, really challenging for the Hormagaunts. They can potentially get one shot by the IEDs, you've got a massive amount of splash damage thanks to the old reliable blast, you've got explosive shot to CC them up close. I mean, it's just, yeah, triple Hormagaunts is questionable. We'll see.
We just need to find an edge. Captured for you, the Emperor.
Now this map is definitely not the biggest of maps, so we should see a lot of scrapping. It's not really got many natural points. I guess this point is it slightly natural? Nah, I don't even think it is. Because it's slightly off to the right, but it's further away from this player. So it's about the same. Maybe slightly natural for blue, but not really. It's kind of like free contested for all players. So maybe Tenso's going for the double Raveners, but that's kind of meh because you're the Lictor Alpha, so you don't have any synapse. Maybe Ravener into a Warrior. Not sure. Not sure what Tenso's trying to do here. Tenso. I find this requisition so hard to see on the map, I always forget it exists. But for some reason, this map has been seeing a resurgence recently. A bit of a revival. Lots of players playing on it. It being an official map for the prior Elite League. For whatever reason. But you see here Tenso just bum rushing the generator farm. And it doesn't take long on this map to get from your base to the enemy farm. So it's kind of a viable play. But he's got double Kadishans to contend with. The old reliable there for this Kadishan, honestly, not that effective. Kind of missed everything. Gonna go in for a shotgun blast. Now that was effective. Holy shit, knocked over all three of the squads there. Ravener's just focusing on getting the gen bash. Not actually trying to win this fight is Tenso. He's just going for the bash. And he mostly gets it. One generator surviving and then he retreats everything out. Basically not really any bleed here, just a couple of gaunts killed, nothing major. He's indeed going to be going for the double Raveners. So he's going to have a weaker tier 1 because he won't have synapse for tier 1, but the scaling will be really good here when he gets a Venabrood in tier 2. The Venabrood will be able to provide basic synapse for all the troops, but also range synapse for double Raveners, which is pretty sweet. Maybe you'll even go for double Venabrood. One with a Death Spitter, one with ranged synapse and the Venom Cannons to deal with any chimeras. Could be pretty good if you're the Lictor Alpha. I believe you get a little bit of a discount on your Venabrood when you call it in via the global. Even if you don't, it could generate quite a nice timing push. But no upgrades for the Lictor Alpha, no upgrades for the Commissar yet. A nice little burrow there from the Raveners, and then you gangbang the Cadishans with your Homers. Probably should have used the explosive shot to save the... well, buy a bit of time here for the Guardsman and the Sentinel to disengage easier. But Sentinel definitely needs to get out of there now. Doesn't want to be going in for a stomp when you've got 6 Hydralisks waiting to focus fire it. I mean, Raveners. This is a very Zerg build, isn't it? Looking at this. How can you not see Hydralisks and Zerglings here? That's all I can see, guys. That's all I can see. Commissar needs to be really careful. You do have a nice little combo when you're running Cadishans with the Commissar. When you want to disengage him, you just old reliable the Commissar and you turn your own shield on just before it hits so it doesn't knock back him. Knocks back the enemies and allows you to retreat. It allows you to stay in fights against melee a lot longer than you otherwise could. Big stomp coming in, but you've got to deal with the Hormagaunts. You can't just be moving forward, not shooting because Cadishans don't have fire on the move. And they're going to get wrecked. I mean, this is a bad engagement for Kingfisher. I don't know what he's doing. No Guardsman support for the Sentinel. He's fighting the Hero and the double Raveners. You've got to remember, double Raveners is a really expensive choice. They cost more than Cadishan Devils. So, you know, one Cadishan versus double Raveners, the Hero and Hormagaunts, that's so risky with just a Sentinel. Not a good idea. Ooh, I was wondering, was that the Guardsman? The Guardsman is still in base. This should be going to the contested. These guys need to stop capping and start fighting. They can easily beat one isolated Hormagaunt, but they're too busy focusing on the engagement over here. Guardsman's still idle from Kingfisher. Oh, and the Cadishans only stop fighting now. They might not even win this fight. Nope, they're not gonna. Terrible, terrible play there from Kingfisher. All he had to do was shotgun blast them, and he could have easily beat them. And then kept going. Maybe could have even caught the point, which would have really hurt Tenso. Wouldn't have helped him that much, but it's just delaying Tenso from being able to recap the point. Also, just plant an IED. You could just plant an IED here, and then walk here, let the Hormagaunts walk in and blow them all up instantly. You know, there's no detection right now for Tenso. You've gone double Cadishans and you're not getting IED wipes. Unacceptable, brother. Go study with Al-Qaeda. Learn the ways of victory. Or maybe the Taliban. Maybe not Al-Qaeda, because they're not really winning. The Taliban have won, you know. They've won. Tenso apparently bleeding quite a lot. I've not really noticed if he's lost many Ravener models. That is a disadvantage of the Raveners. If you do bleed models on them, it hurts, man. It hurts a lot. I don't really know what the Commissar's doing here. He needs to engage with his other units so that he can tie up the Raveners whilst the other units deal with the Hormagaunts. He shouldn't just be sat there chopping a couple of Hormagaunts down whilst getting focus fired by 6 Raveners. It's really not an effective use of him, whether he has the tanky melee carapace armor or not. We do have an idea. We'll have to see whether this is useful or not. We're clearly seeing units filter down this side quite a lot. So that's something to consider. IEDs here. Of course, you should have them around the VPs as well. Primaris Psyker. Oh boy. See, man, he's got the carapace armor right now. The flak jacket would be so good. It's going to kill Raveners in one shot. It's going to hurt the Tyranid economy. There's not much that can hurt the Tyranid economy. But now he's committed to this carapace armor. But yeah, let's talk about the Primaris Psyker. Busted, super OP, sub-commander for the Imperial Guard at the moment. Really powerful, perfect accuracy, long-ranged attacks that he's got here that do splash damage. You can see chonking away at the health there of the Ravener Brood. They're getting a little bit of damage resistance as they get to melee with the Guardsman there. But it's just such a good controlled unit. You upgrade him, you can get basically an equivalent of the Warp Fire ability from the Chaos Sorcerer. You can snare any target squad, you can suppress target squads. You can put down a dome that gives you huge amounts of damage resistance to your allied squads. Just a crazy, crazy powerful unit to deal with blobs of enemy troops, especially any melee troops that try and attack you. And yeah, you know, Tenso's got quite a few of them, so this guy should put in a lot of work. But there is one thing that helps Tenso deal with him, quite unique to his hero. That would be Flesh Hook. So the fact that Tenso is playing as the Lictor Alpha means he actually has a much better chance than any other Tyranid hero to deal with this Primaris Psyker. Flesh Hook him into the retreat path of Hormagaunts and Raveners, who can then melee him as he's trying to retreat. And you should have a good chance of killing him. Not doing it there, but an ambush from the Lictor Alpha will force off that Psyker. But not before he disrupted the Lictor from capping that point in the mid. Boba Tyranids is doing quite well in the main combat against Kingfisher, it has to be said. Catachans again just on the sides, taking out power nodes. How long has this been neutral?
Imperial Guard structure destroyed.
Zone for up now out for the Tenso. Focus Warp Blast there, going to put on a little bit more pressure against the Sentinel. We've got the Frag Missile Launcher upgraded on the Sentinel. Well, it's not just frag missiles, it's just a missile launcher, because it can shoot frag missiles or it can shoot crack rounds. Crack missiles, which is good against vehicles.
Go ahead, sir.
Increases his DPS, his HP, and HP regen a little bit. Commissar causing some problems. He's swapped out to the Flat Jacket now. I do think that's a good choice. Ooh, here we go though. Siphoning Talons and the Lictor Alpha. Very lucky special attack there from the Lord Commissar. Oh man, that was the luckiest special attack from the Lord Commissar ever. That guy was literally about to die from the Lictor, since the Lictor just pulled out those Siphoning Talons in the middle of that fight, but saved by the special attack. Very timely. Bought enough time for him to get out of there. Commissar now coming into the Guardsmen to make them a bit more resilient. They can also dodge burrows from the Raveners this way by retreating, letting them burrow and then executing. You lose a Guardsman, but you keep the other 7 plus the Commissar in play. Not a terrible idea. And he's picked up the Flat Jacket, so should be able to start bleeding the Raveners. Also can put out tremendous pressure against the Zone Thrope. What is it, 300 damage or is it 250? I can't remember. I think it's 300. So you just have to tickle it, and then you can kill it in one shot and retreat with your Flat Jacket. But again though, it does make the purchase of Carapace Armor in Tier 1 redundant, unless you're going to do a lot of war gear swapping. Very optimistic there from Tenso to try and pull the Lord Commissar in with a Flesh Hook. It's quite a telegraphed ability with the energy bar going down long before the ability activates, so easily countered by just turning on the Refractor Shield. And there you can see the ability, I think it's called Strip Soul, from the Psyker, snaring the Lictor Alpha, buying a little bit of time, and then he throws off a shockwave to weaken the Raveners, which are now getting poked down by the Sentinel. Tenso really needs to get a Venom Brood. He's got no Synapse. Okay, no, what am I talking about? He's got the Warrior Brood now. That's interesting. Oh, he's going to go for a Thorax Swarm Warrior Brood. Oh, I wouldn't have done that. I'd have just got a Venom Brood and tried to kill the Sentinel with it. And then you can go Death Spitters once the Sentinel's dead, I guess. Have we even seen any executes yet from the Flat Jacket? I'm not sure. But the splash damage here from the Sentinel and the Psyker is pretty brutal. Splash damage from the Zone Thrope not really that impactful against this composition. The main threats are the Sentinel, the Psyker, the Commissar, they're all single entities. So the splash damage not really doing that much. Plasma guns now. Stormtroopers getting caught out in a pretty bad situation here against the Lictor. Not great for them, as you can imagine. They do not want to be fighting a Lictor. What are the Catachans doing? They're just guarding this side, planting IEDs over here. They are sidelined, but that's fine. They're good at that job. Because of all the CC abilities, they can basically 1v1 anything. Pretty big micro error there from Tenso. Basically sent the Lictor into the base. Maybe he didn't realise quite how close the base is on this map. And here we've got an isolated Kadashan squad. Not great when they get suppressed by the Warrior Brood. Oh god, that model loss. Needs to get the 4x Swarm of these warriors, make them a bit tankier. That was kind of brutal. Really, he needs to kill this damn Sentinel. It's really hurting him right now. I wouldn't have gone for a Barb Strangler, because again, that doesn't help against the Sentinel. You want some Venom Cannons, or Death Spitters. Either. If you go the Venom Cannons, they're not going to do as much as the Death Spitters, but then you can get ranged Synapse to boost your double Raveners, and then you've got more ranged DPS, right? Tenso's losing Hormagaunt squads on the sidelines. You can see he's only down to 1 right now, so not a lot of melee assets for him anymore. And really just not a lot of capping power. And there's another Shockwave, but he is in melee with the Psyker. He's not really set up the Victor Alpha to get a wipe on the Psyker at any point, so that's a bit of a shame. Oh wow, nearly wipes those Raveners. Somehow they managed to retreat there with 2 models on 15 HP, which is kind of keck. Stubbornness not really helping the Lord Commissar heal here, because he's got no boys near him to heal him. I noticed that you get better heals with Stubbornness the more men that are near him. Questionable upgrade really, given the reliance on skirmishes and single entities that Kingfisher is having right now. Power Sword, less questionable. It's a gigantic DPS increase for a relatively low cost. The Victor really needs to stop walking head-on into the Psyker, where he's just going to get controlled and focused down. He needs to be hitting from a flank and pulling the Psyker in with Flesh Hook into melee. Little bit of bleed on the Catchins there. More Stormtroopers. Oh, that's not a good idea. Kingfisher's got a massive amount of power right now. He should really be going tier 3 and getting a tank. Of course, Tenso right now is tier 3. And a Carnifex train could be difficult to deal with. Could be.
Stormtroopers here. Orders.
Yeah, Victor Alpha going to be able to dominate the Lord Commissar there in a 1v1. Now leaping onto the Stormtroopers. They've got to get out of there. Not really seeing that much from the Stormtroopers here. And Stormtroopers are another asset that can bleed quite a lot. I guess they're fine as sidecappers, but I wouldn't be getting 2 of them. One's fine. Kadashan's sidecap one side, Stormtroopers sidecap the other. Then you just push your single entities down the mid for the main fights. Can the zone throw hit from there? I was going to say. Surely not. Those rocks should be a line of sight blocker. A little bit brave there from the zone throw, but that's not going to work out, mate. Zone throw needs to get out of there before the Lord Commissar kills him. And yeah, the IG forces brute force their way through, even without the Psyker there, to provide that backline fire support. Lucky that the Commissar had wasted all of his energy on Flak Jack and his Refractor Shield, so he didn't have the execute there. He could have just executed the zone throw in retreat. But good thing for Tenso is he's got a Carnifex on the way, so let's see how it's going to do. I wonder what Carnifex he's going to go for. I don't know. The Barb Strangler is kind of meh, just because it doesn't have that much HP, and honestly, like a Missile Sentinel, microed correctly, could kind of 1v1 it, dodging the Barb Strangler and slowly whittling it down with crack missiles. Obviously a Venom Cannon would wreck the Sentinel, but going for a Venom Cannon Carnifex, which is basically a hard tank counter, just to kill a Sentinel seems ridiculous. But if you go for a form back, technically that gets 1v1 by the Sentinel as well, because it can never catch the Sentinel and kill it.
Roger, sir.
I think I'd go for a form back. Less scared of any Melter Stormtroopers that come out. This timing's pretty awkward. Is he going to cancel the assault kit? No, he just finishes the assault kit when he sees the Carnifex. Yikes. Okay, he's going to go for the Bow Strangler. Flak Jacket just onto the Warriors. I don't know about that. Raveners bleed more than Warriors. Better to kill the Warrior. Better to kill the Ravener models. Or obviously hunt the Zoanthrope. Okay, we get to see the Sentinel 1v1ing the Carnifex. Fun times. Hello? Psycho specials? Inside the dome he gets more melee skill. So he will be able to get specials against units like the Raveners. Yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I was saying. Yeah, you suppress a Kadashan squad, but who cares? Can't suppress the Sentinel, and your Stranglethorn cannon's so slow moving, the Sentinel just moves back and dodges it. I mean, the Tyranid formation there wiped these Stormtrooper squads. Well, one of them. Don't know where the other one went, because they're wiped as well. So Kingfisher losing assets here. He's gone for the Las Cannon heavy weapons team. So this is the other problem. Now he can just tie up the Carnifex with a Commissar, and it can't shoot. Commissar, you need to get out of there. Commissar's gonna die. Okay. Oh! Focus Warp Blast nearly takes him out there. But this Carnifex is dead, man. Las Cannon gets another shot off. I'm shaking my head in real life. Sentinel kills the Carnifex. Whoop! Seen that one coming. This thing needed to die ages ago, but Tenso didn't do anything to try and kill it. No 4x Swarm Electroshock grubs. He shouldn't have even gone for the Warriors in the first place. Just get a Venom Brood. Venom Cannons can still hit the Sentinel, then you'd get more range damage coming out your Raveners. Not enough Rippers, trying to path block it. He didn't use the Flesh Hook from the Lictor Alpha to actually kill this Psyker. He didn't even like attempt a proper... There was no serious attempt to actually gank the Psyker. And the fact that he's playing Lictor Alpha actually gives him so much more hope when it comes to dealing with the Psyker. Hive Tyrant and Ravener would just be completely screwed. But he never really utilised that tool. And that Bow Strangler, I mean, it was obvious that that was going to happen to me anyway. It fires too slow, it's not good against vehicles. And the infantry threats aren't the squads. The infantry threats are the Commissar and the Psyker. Plus the Sentinel, which, you know, is like half infantry. So I don't know, Kingfisher's now tier 3. He's got red for nearly 2 rocket runs, so I'm not really sure how he can lose this, given that he's a solid 200 or so VPs ahead. Seems like he shouldn't be losing this. Kingfisher really needs to turn off that refractor shield. Oh, there you go. Just executed it. Goodbye, Zoanthrope. There's going to be another Carnifex coming out, but presumably Kingfisher just goes for a Lumen Rush, yeah, and that's going to be sad times for the Carnifex, especially when there's already a Las Cannon. The Sentinel still isn't dead. Okay, Sentinel stomping out of anger right now. I don't know what's going on. Kingfisher, okay, finally retreating the Las Cannon, and the Shockwave is going to save the day in combination with an explosive shot. I mean, yeah. Honestly, kind of hopeless. This is such a hard matchup for the Tyranids. It's insane, but then again, he opened with bloody triple Hormagaunts into a dual Kadashan opening, so honestly, the fact that this is going tier 3 is kind of insane. he should be infiltrating his Lictor way closer to the Psyker when he does that, so that when the Psyker gets hooked, the Lictor flings the Psyker over his head, and then the Lictor's in retreat path and can get a couple of hits on retreat. He might have been able to kill it then. He might actually kill the Sentinel. Hooray! I assume it doesn't have Stomp. Yeah. Kingfisher right now just focusing on trying to kill this Carnifex. Ooh, why's the last cannon moving? Not sure. It's got the Venom cannon on the Carnifex, but getting tied up by the Lord Commissar. Carnifex just turn around and kill that damn Commissar. He's only got like 400 HP. Doesn't want to risk it, just getting back to the base. He does have the 2 side points, to be fair. Lictor Alpha causing a bit of disruption, but yeah, it does need to retreat. What's going on here? We've got the Hormagaunts and the Raveners. Kingfisher, unfortunately for him, overextended his Commissar into the base and now has to retreat it. He's still got 999 red, so there's potential for a rocket run here. Really should be using it on these side-capping units. Of course, a rocket run will gib a Hormagaunt squad. I'm pretty sure it'll gib a Ravener squad when it's out of Synapse as well. Now Kingfisher's got Casca on the way. I mean, the wave of units here from the IG just is unrelenting. You'd think they were Tyranids. Bang. Nice rear armor bioplasma onto the Lehman Rust there. Lictor Alpha going to be getting onto the Cap, trying to disrupt him with a shockwave, but misses. And the Venom Brood can now open up fire. Did I call it Venom Brood? Venom Cannon Carnifex. Now the Barb Strangler Warrior Brood can rotate over to deal with the Kadishan Devils. Probably should be focus firing the Commissar with the Ravener so that the Commissar doesn't tie up the Venom Brood all day. I keep calling it a Venom Brood, a Venom Cannon Carnifex. Rocket Run didn't wipe out a squad there, wow. Oh. Commissar caught it in retreat. Oh well. VP's getting quite low for Kingfisher right now. He still doesn't control any of the VPs. He's attempting to get rid of the Hormagaunts there, but they actually finished the cap and then are able to retreat out without dying. Is Tenso somehow going to be able to win this? Oh, he attempted to knock over the Commissar with a Bioplasma, but of course the Commissar just turns on the Refractor Shield. Can he melee that Commissar down? Doesn't... Oh. Tyranid formation missed. Lehman Rust needs to be careful. Doesn't want to be walking forward into the Carnifex here. Certainly not showing rear armor. But there's a flare global from the Commissar to lower its range. He's got plenty of red for much more of them. That's for sure. Ravener's focus firing the Psyker. He's not going to be able to finish that cap. Should have used his dome for damage resistance a lot earlier. Gaskin going to guard that northern VP. Kadishan's on the southern one. There's not really anything to go take that southern one. Oh, another nice bioplasma on the rear armor. Lehman Rust needs to stay mobile to dodge them, but it's trying to stay still so that the Guardsman can put some repairs in. Guardsman there quite scared of the Raveners burrowing in. Hormagaunts on the far side there doing a lot of damage to the Kassakin, but Kassakin once again showing how crazy they are in melee. That 18 DPS in melee that they have for no reason whatsoever. Ridiculous. So yeah, Kassakin just 1v1 Hormagaunts in melee. For what reason? I'm not sure. Because they're a tier 3 unit. Who cares? They're a range unit for the IG. They shouldn't be 1v1ing melee squads. That's absurd. And they definitely should not be doing the same damage per model as Tactical Marines in melee. Anyway, the Lehman Rust is eventually taken out, but it doesn't... Oh, it doesn't matter because the VP's run out for Tenso, but damn was it close. Look at that. He literally would have stopped the VP bleed by turning this into a 1-on-1, and then maybe he would have won it, honestly. Retaining his Carnifex, there's not really any AV. There's some potential. I mean, he could have grabbed the Power Claw, the Fist of Brockus. He's got the Melter Gun and the Kadishan Sarge. You can swap the Kassakin, 2 Melter Guns, and they do have crack grenades. I don't know, it would have been close, but unlucky Tenso. Bit of a weird game, this one. Definitely going to be a Saturday upload. Tenso clearly the more experienced player here, more high in skill in terms of micro and macro, but obviously the matchup favours the IG quite tremendously. However, there were so many things in there that Tenso could have done better regardless. Mostly build order, but not just build order, also tactical things like the Lictor Alpha. I feel like there were a lot of opportunities he could have snagged this Psyker just because Kingfisher's own positioning and his reaction time is so poor relative to Tenso. But he didn't position his Lictor in the correct manner to do it. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed that one, folks. That's going to be all from you, boy Torpid, this time. I am signing out.